This podcast is brought to you by the Podtower, hosted by the Watchtower database. Visit youtube.com/thepodtower for informative, hilarious DC animation-themed podcasts and live streams every week. And check out the Watchtower database for DCAU video essays, timelines, fan theories, and more. And please, enjoy the show. I got a real big amount in a Swiss bank account.
I got a penthouse at the Ritz. I bought it with my hits.
Baby, sleepover something?
Slumber Party Massacre 2.
Massacre 2. Let's say that.
I don't think the first one's a musical, but
I don't think the second one was,
is.
except for that song. Or was there another
It
song?
has, The Killer has a musical number.
Yeah.
It's absolutely a musical.
And he drills through them while singing.
He sure does.
He drills them.
No spoilers, but listener, you got to go watch Slumber Party
movie.
Massacre 2.
Yeah.
It is a slasher movie.
You guys had already seen it, and then you just said, like, oh, you haven't seen this? We have to watch this or something.
Uh-huh.
And then we did, and it was good.
Yeah.
And then we played the trombone trumpet version of the song at your forest warming party.
Yeah. Listener, it's not what it sounds like. We weren't pro global warming, okay?
your forest burning ceremony. We thought it was a little awkward, but we prepared a musical number for you.
Look, the squirrels are cold. We're gonna set this place on fire and play some brass instruments.
Yep. And they'll really.
Are we pagan?
That's part of the rituals that we do. There were 5 squirrels. God. We drew a circle around the tree, and then we played all our trombones at it until it spontaneously combusted. There we go.
Yes.
From the vibrations. Welcome back to Jump on the Bat-Wagon. This is episode 99. We're so close, Brian.
Oh.
Once we get to 100, we can stop. Brian had it in writing, just in case. I'm James. That's Brian. You know what this is. We're here to watch the DC animated universe from start to finish for Brian's very first time in the controversial airdate order. So he may view these shows the way human beings experience them in the far gone days of the 1900s.
Yep.
Those were a couple days ago at this point.
Yep.
We're watching Rugrats on the non-carpeted floor with our vacuums.
Klasky
Supo. Well, what's that guy's name?
Right?
What's that guy's name?
Mark Klasky?
Mothersbaugh, right?
Oh, Mark Mothersbaugh?
Yeah.
Bragg?
Wrote the music.
Bragg? Sure.
What? We recommend you watch today's DCAU episode before listening to this podcast to get the full experience out of our discussion. At the time of this recording,
7:48 p.m.
Oh, Brian framed his Feet of Clay Kevin Altieri thing in a much better frame than the one I gave him.
Yeah, I just wanted to show you. I finally upgraded it.
Good. It's very
framed
pretty.
and matted. Isn't it pretty?
It is very
seem to
pretty.
hang it
I
up
need the
now.
matte. Yeah. Mine's just in Wait. Why do you have...
What?
You have Feet of Clay?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I just had my brain stopped working. I looked up at my Two-Face one on the wall right here, and I thought that that was the one you just held up. And I was like, how are there two?
Listener, James has had kind of a rough evening.
I have had a rough couple of days, yeah. But what was it? 7:48 p.m., 7:49 p.m.
Now it's 7:49.
Thank you. Superman
welcome.
the Animated Series is streaming on Max. Where is he? Is he in there somewhere?
Oh, he was under the desk, but now he's probably on the couch.
He knew this was happening. And available on DVD and Blu-ray. Is she in there somewhere?
She's last I knew on my bed.
That's what people are going to think. The dog's name is Rose. Does it have a longer name? Is it like Rosalind or Rose anything?
She was officially Rosie, but I found old boarding certificate things from the place that we rescued them from, and Rosie's name was not spelled the way I expected. It was like R-O-Z-I-E, or it was something wrong, and I was like, what the fuck?
Roz from Monsters Inc. You didn't file your paperwork last night.
my friend who's much better at Spanish than me calls her, I think like
Rosita?
Rosalinda or something like that.
Yeah.
Rosie, she's got Rosita. I call her Rosalie a lot. You know how it goes.
That's good. That's a Zeta Project main character.
Rosalie?
But today we're watching Superman episode The Prometheon. I really loved I wish people could have seen the visual for this. Like, I think you already deleted the Zoom video, so it's gone forever. But when we were recording with Dan last time, and then you did your prediction, and I was like, oh, he always gets them so good or whatever, like sarcastically. And you're like, yeah, watch this. And I'm like, The Prometheon. And then you just turned to me and, the what? Or is it like you had such a good, I can't replicate it. I tried to describe it to Jessica and I couldn't do it justice. Like, it was so good. Watch this. Like, such confidence. What? So that was your prediction, I think. No, your legit prediction was that it was going to be Superman fighting some kind of monster and they would punch a hole in a building at some point. And then I was like, yeah, that seems like a given. And then you guessed that the monster was red, and that was wrong. So you're like 50-50. So.
Sounds like a good red. I think it's red to me.
It was red to me. It was a movie to me.
Go watch the Emoji Movie video on JTS Entertainment or wherever it is.
John, if you're listening and you've just finally caught up to this episode 2 years after we're recording it, at the time of this recording, 2023, then you're welcome. This originally aired Saturday, September 12th, 1997 at 4:30 p.m. on the WB. We skipped 3 days since Blast from the Past Part 2. Now, so far in Superman, we've had a pretty good, sometimes episodes are flipped from each other, but then it'll flip back the next time and it'll be fine. This aired number 16 and was produced number 27.
I hate everything in life forever.
Everything's bad again. Yeah, I was like, whatever your reaction would be to that. We're back in the B-test style. Here's an episode. Play it whenever the fuck you want, I guess.
Right.
Which just means that they had at least this many made already, like probably the whole first couple seasons or something. I don't know. Anyway, this was written by Stan Berkowitz and Alan Burnett. Stan Berkowitz previously wrote Way of All Flesh and Two's a Crowd. And Alan Burnett previously wrote 6 episodes of BTAS and co-wrote Lasak with Paul Dini. This is directed by another new one, Nobuo Tomizawa. He was also a background designer on this episode and was one on The Way of All Flesh. And I'm kind of realizing that over the course of these like overseas director credits are just... They were someone that was heavily involved in it's always a TMS episode. So it's like, they're in the TMS animation department and somehow get just in charge of everything. I'd love to ask Dan about that. We should have done that last time. Oh, well. Music is by Michael McQuistion. He previously composed 11 episodes of BTAS as well as Lasak Part 2, Feeding Time, Stolen Memories, and Two's a Crowd. And animation is by TMS. Wouldn't you guess it?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Don't drink Sprite before you record a podcast. Don't drink an entire bottle of Sprite without burping before you... If that's all I did, that's impressive.
I love those videos.
I do.
Especially the one like the 2 girls in the car.
Yeah. Oh, my tummy hurts or whatever. And then...
the world exits through her somehow.
Yeah, it was like a portal to another dimension. Yeah. Should make that a thing in some kind of... sci-fi project together that the only we can only open this portal if you drink an entire bottle of Sprite without burping, and there's like the bad guys are gaining on him and she keeps burping on accident. No, start over.
Oh my God, I gotta watch some of those videos instead of this episode.
TMS previously animated 7 episodes of BTAS and the video game cutscenes, as well as Fun and Games, A Little Piece of Home, The Way of All Flesh, My Girl, and Two's a Crowd. Two's a Crowd. Talking about hot tub.
Hot tub.
I already said it that I was drinking Sprite. What are you drinking? Anything?
Yeah. This is straight hydrochloric acid. Check this out.
Oh my God. Brian is melting.
So much for the podcast.
There's an upcoming episode that references hydrochloric acid.
Sweet.
So it was interesting that you specifically chose that. But anyway.
Yeah, I've seen that episode years ago. I'm very familiar with it.
Now, our only Yoppie Bev buy me a coffee person that's left on the list. So people got to send in stuff. Or how are we going to stay hydrated?
Oh my God! How are we going to do push-ups?
We can't do push-ups without Sprite in our bodies. This is from LexCorp. They bought one Yoppie Bev, so I guess we have to split it between us. Mr. Luthor told me to make sure those podcasters are well taken care of. I assumed that this meant to give you two a drink. I hope it's a good one. So let's do our 5. Wait, I'll do 2.5 and you do 2.5. Okay.
Okay, I'll do 5 in the time it takes you to do 2.5.
Thank you.
1, 2,
3, and
4, 5. Yeah, we need more Bev. Someone give me a Bev.
That's
you know
the wind.
You want to.
That's the wind blowing us away to watch the episode. Stop talking, it says.
Wow.
Stop talking. Wow.
The code was simpler than it seemed. They wanted others to translate it.
They?
The aliens who created that thing. It's a synthetic being. It was built for strength and given only minimal intelligence. They wanted to use it for heavy labor.
Obviously something went wrong.
Very. Its fuel was supposed to be the heat from their suns, but that was hardly enough for the creature. Soon it began to absorb heat from everything, and the more it absorbed, the stronger it got.
No wonder it didn't burn up when it fell through the atmosphere. The heat just made it stronger.
Exactly.
So how do we stop it?
You know those cold packs and first aid kits? They work on the principle of mixing two chemicals that create instant cold. Watch.
Will they work with seawater?
We're too late. The creature's already come ashore.
Hey, there's a thing on March 9th, Brian.
Whatever.
Aren't you aware of that?
What is the march? Yeah!
It's like a John Philip Sousa. He goes up for the 120 BPM. They come to that thing on March 9th. You will like it. Oh, yeah. Is this making you want to go, listener? We're watching the WF episode live in person with us. We're going to watch it, and we're going to do a podcast in front of you. If you want to come to that, it's in Eugene, Oregon. That's the funny nickname for the town, Big Bus. Go to the Google form in the description. Tell us you're coming, please.
Look, we're going to be loud and in person, and we're gonna have you
in the flesh tent.
We're gonna be in the flesh tent.
Yes.
You're gonna laugh. Isn't that worth it? Like, life is all about laughter and time spent with friends. So come laugh with the friends that you didn't know you had waiting for you in Eugene, Oregon on March 9th. And
it's us. Oh, and us.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Put that in there somewhere, James. Are you ready?
No.
I can hear you. No.
Aye.
Brian, can you tell me what happens here in the Prometheon or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If you're wondering, Synyop,
Woo.
what you just watched, Synyop, take a listen to the synopsis. The short summary, which is sometimes kind of long.
You may not have a very long synopsis this time, but you tell me. I don't know.
I don't think this has to be a long one.
Mm-hmm.
Superman's in space. Woo! He's in space. He's knocking on a spaceship saying, "Hello, I'm Buzz Lightyear. I'm here to blow up this asteroid that you
Brian
guys
is
want
moving
to
his
blow
neck
up."
side to side real fast. Hello, I'm Buzz Lightyear. You can really see it.
Buzz Lightyear is known for his neck speed.
He's known for his mono microphone Doppler effect. Where it just gets quieter and louder.
Anyway, he's in space. They're going to blow up an asteroid with Superman's help. And there's a big rock alien duct taped to the backside of an asteroid.
We're like, oh no, he's duct taped.
It looked like duct tape.
Yeah, space duct tape, yeah.
And they're like, that's weird. And then the heat of the sun wakes up the guy, and he's like, oh shit, I'm awake. And they're like, oh shit, he's awake. And then they're like, blow up the thing, and it sends him free falling, parachuting without a parachute onto Earth. But it's good for him because this big rock monster absorbs heat.
He does.
And he's really into the whole falling through Earth's atmospere and heating up thing.
Doing
He's
it very
cold.
slowly, very slow. When you're playing Call of Duty and you go from standing to crouching to prone, on the, like to do like a sneaky grass sniping. That's what he's just doing as he's planking or whatever on his way down. If that's a better reference for the youngins, I don't know.
If you play PUBG and you like jump out of the airplane, it's before you deploy your parachute kind of thing.
But you're not flailing, or he's just doing.
Yeah, he's just going for it. So it's this big rock monster. Then he was from an alien race that was non-binary or whatever. They're really into the binary on this episode.
What was it that you said? It was like, oh, Superman, you better get back over here to the lab. Like, I got to show you something. And they were like
talking about we figured out the binary code, and I was like,
right.
It turns out it's just he, she, and then like Superman, the very next word is like they. Yeah. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, you said that, like, they're doing a thing, and he's they, as if he was like surprised, like that there's a they. They just that's what you expect General Hardcastle to be doing this whole time. How many pronouns am I gonna have to remember at this point? He's
fucking hell, right? Yeah.
America.
He was very the worst parts of the American experience, wasn't he?
That's very on purpose, of course.
Yeah, that checks out. Hit it with guns. And Superman's like, oh, don't hit it with guns. It makes him stronger. And he's
I
like,
don't trust
more
you,
guns,
Superman.
There's a big fucking rock monster, and they're like, hey, how do we stop it? Oh, science. We're gonna like turn him into an instant ice pack. Cool. Just lure him into a lake. And Superman's like, okay, I'm gonna lure him into a lake. And they lure him into a lake, and then they freeze him, and he does the Day After Tomorrow. What was that?
Right.
Like,
yeah. The Statue of Liberty.
Statue of Liberty. Frozen in the ice. Yeah. The episode ends like that. No idea if the monsters. He's gonna come back, I guess.
Creepy flute sounds, and you're like, and what are they gonna do about it? What are they gonna do with them? And then it just ends like the end. You just glared at me. Yeah.
There's a monster, and they froze him in the ice. That's definitely not gonna come back to haunt them. We didn't see Metallo walking on the bottom of the ocean.
No,
that's another thing.
Yeah. Do you want a spoiler, Brian?
Yeah.
This Prometheon never comes back.
And until the ice melts
they
tomorrow.
never discuss what happens.
Oh, okay. I know how I feel.
Later, a couple shows from now, there are things that you could like fan theorize maybe, but there is never any official explanation. Yeah.
Do they go by this science lake and it's just like water again?
It's walled off to the public now. Don't go in the ice hand place. There's a big ice hand there.
Oh my God. Okay. Give me an official synop.
The official synop. A giant humanoid creature with incredible strength. He was so humanoid, he even had a butt crack.
He did have a butt
crack. And heat-sapping abilities. Falls to Earth and now threatens the planet. Superman has to fight the creature's advances and send it back into outer space. He doesn't do that.
He doesn't do that at all.
He freezes it.
He like lets it out of outer space. He's like, what if I push this into Earth's orbit?
Surprise, it's now out of there. Yeah. You're like, they're just gonna let it loose, and then it explodes and he goes, hell yeah, and starts descending.
You just hear the Mission Impossible theme song playing, and he's just skydiving onto Earth.
He was voiced by Tom Cruise. Going into this episode, I have maybe watched this like twice before because it has no real bearing on anything else. And
James, that's one time too many.
I know. Well, this is 3 now. And I'm sure I've seen it more than that, but so low by comparison. I, for some reason, had it in my head that I had this whole shtick where I was going to tell you about, like, this episode is my Superman on leather wings, in that I will really like it because of all the art, but you won't understand, like, how I could possibly like this. But now I'm coming away from it going, oh, fuck that. No, that's not true.
You're like, oh, no, this is Brian's on leather wings.
In that sense, yes.
I really wish that you started off being like, look, this is my on leather wings.
Yeah, I wish I would have told you, yeah. And then throughout the episode going, Jamie, like, oh, I'm just kidding. It was all a funny joke. It was a prank the whole time, I promise.
So funny.
I did think that a lot of the art was very good because it was TMS, but it particularly when he's like engulfed in missile flames, and then the fire like slows down to a stop and then shoots back into him. Like, that was a really cool looking thing. Keen effect.
Like no complaints about the art whatsoever, but why did they bother writing and producing this?
I was so I was thinking like that the whole time, that I was thinking like, what made them go like, yeah, this one out of all of the other potential ideas. I think maybe it was like because this is, well, I'll get to this in Tribs, but the Prometheon is like a sort of obscure Jack Kirby character, in that like maybe they're like, oh, we love Jack Kirby so much, we got to do an homage to this guy. And when we talked to Dan, I had brought up, he was like, oh, I'm having to hold my tongue talking about this episode or whatever, and he mentioned people got mad at us back in the day that we like didn't do this character justice, that it's like, that's not what this character is, and we're like, what are you talking about? And then we read the comic, it's like, oh, you're right, that's not at all what this guy is, or whatever. So I'll just skip to that. So as I understand it, Darkseid and all those characters from that creator first appeared in Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, which is like a 60s Jimmy Olsen centric comic, and it's always like a funny thing that like they first appeared there. But then they got this whole mini series called The New Gods that like explained their backstory and showed like what the fuck's going on out there in space hell and all this stuff. And
I love space hell.
There's a character named Metron, who is this like omniscient, all smarty pants guy that sits in a big cosmic chair and just floats around and like observes big like universal events. Like he, watched fire be bestowed to the first caveman and all this kind of shit like that. I think he might have even been responsible for it or something. So he's like floating around in space, just doing spooky narration, being like, look at this shit out here in space. How cool is this? And he's
floating around in space and watching the equivalent of space YouTube.
Yeah. Makeup tutorial. I've seen this one. He's swiping through the shorts. Yeah. But so he in the comic, it's like a 2-page spread, and that's it, where you just see this giant rock man duct taped to a giant rock. And then he's like, oh, yes, like the Prometheon galaxy. Like this is the place where like a bunch of strong, like the universe's like strongest guys came to try to break the barrier of the like edge of the universe. This is this big cosmic-y like wall that in DC Comics, it's called the Source Wall, and it's like the edge of the universe. And anytime that a big
the flat Earth, right?
Yes, exactly.
Sweet.
Anytime that a big Galactus type guy is like, I want to see what's on the other side of that wall, it's like impossible to do, and then the wall just makes you part of the wall for even trying. It's like, fuck you. So in the comic, that's what it is he's a big ass guy that is described as larger than a star cluster, and that he takes 1 billion Earth years to feel one heartbeat. So this is a fucking enormous guy who, on the page it says, the creature enlarged its own atomic structure in order to try and engulf and break through the source wall, and was condemned to be bound to the weapon with which he attempted this. So that rock is supposed to be like, okay, I'm going to get real big. I'm going to throw this rock through the source wall so I can see what's on the other side.
And instead, a big rock?
Yeah, it was a fucking star cluster sized rock. But then in this, he's like obviously infinitely smaller than that. Like he's big, but he's like Superman can see his footprint on the ocean floor sized.
Yeah, he's he fits on the Earth size.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's much, much smaller than the planet. Yeah. But yeah, so like completely different thing. And he's just, he's like showed up a couple times as just like a random background. Like people will be flying through space and there's the Prometheon guy. He's just back there somewhere. But he never has, as to my knowledge, any sort of like actual comic story dedicated to him. He's just cool looking big guy duct taped to a rock. It's a very like unique image or whatever. But yeah, someone saw that page, I guess, and went, let's do a whole episode about that. What's his deal? Why is he strapped to that rock? Don't look it up. Just make Superman fight him.
I know, we got like a little bit of backstory of like, this race of people like created him to push a big rock. Yeah. But he fucked them up, and then it just like fast forward to he's on an asteroid because they're like, get him out of here. We don't want to deal with him.
Yeah, that was something that I was thinking about. I was like, what's going on?
No, it's Kimmy and Ron in the other room.
Oh my God.
Hi.
I hear them.
Are you stuck in a wall? Do you need help? Oh, we got dogs.
Yep.
Anyway,
But that planet's just like, we need a big Fantastic Four the Thing to do all of our work for us. And then it went, I wish I had more fire. And then just off screen, they somehow put it on a rock. They duct taped it to a rock. We don't get to know how they overwhelmed it or were able to do that.
They put him in a big ice lake, and he somehow got attached to an asteroid and went flying through space.
They just cut a chunk out of their planet after icing him to it. 3/4 of a planet's better than no planet. Just go. Just push him into space. It's someone else's problem now. It is weird that it's just like, how close is that? I guess that it's like, you see its innards are like robotic or something in the episode. So like when that flashback of Professor Hamilton describing them creating the creature for their, he's got like machinery tubes inside of him. He's a big robot.
Oh,
it was like kind of blink and you miss it.
Yeah.
And
I literally blinked and missed it.
You did. It was one frame. Hamilton said, "Don't blink, Superman." The frame rate of this episode is only binary. We can't. You can't see the. Anyway.
Oh my god!
This is terrible.
This is very bad.
But just a completely random, weird episode. That to me it feels like, I don't know what to do. But I really like that big rock guy. We should just put him in something. And then it took 2 writers to write this. I'm sorry, Stan and Alan. I'm sorry, but come on. Yeah, Brian doesn't have to apologize.
Here, do you want me to write a better episode real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so Superman comes up on a giant monster that is actively breaking off of an asteroid.
Yeah.
He like hears some sound out in space because he's got selective dog hearing, and he's like, oh no, there's a big monster. It's about to break off this asteroid. What am I gonna do? He goes and fights it in space. The fight takes them into the Earth's atmosphere. The scientists, how about they go the exact? I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna invert this whole thing. So he's like, well, he's attracted to heat, but like you can only have so much power, because we saw that episode of Batman where Bane got like,
oh yeah, all you got to do is unplug the Rockman's tubes, then he'll shrink down to a smaller man. Is that what you're talking about?
I was thinking about the bit where he gets like super overcharged.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So Superman's like, let's fight him to Hawaii, and we're gonna fight him into a volcano, and he's gonna try to absorb all the heat, but it doesn't work, and he ends up like kind of self-destructing and turning into like a rocky side of the mountain, but he still looks like the monster, and he's a rock.
And he looks like a volcano now, so it's not like a weird disruption to the habitat of that area or whatever.
Yeah. He's just doing this Norwegian rock troll thing.
Yeah, that was what you're describing is exactly what I was thinking during the episode and forgot about because my brain is mush today. Is they're building up this whole like plot device.
Yeah, just do it. Just the menu, find the button, press the purple one.
Plot device. About how the creature absorbs a bunch of shit, and then I feel like I do a pretty good Hamilton.
You do.
And
the creature absorbs a bunch of shit.
Come over here, Superman. This shit is binary. He absorbs the heat and absorbs like every fire and he's so like, oh, what a glowing stick, huh? And then they don't like what I thought knowing that he's going to be a big ice hand. I knew this wasn't going to happen, but thinking from like maybe they didn't do this because it was more obvious, but from a more obvious storytelling standpoint, it seems to be that you would like, don't shoot the missiles at him. You're just feeding him. But then Superman notices that like, oh, they shot a really big missile, and he kind of for a second went like, ooh, my tummy. And something like where it's like he's noticing that it's a little too much or something. And so maybe if they push it too far, because it was also like he wasn't absorbing the heat and getting stronger. He was the same strong the whole time, and
he was the
just
same physical size. We didn't really have like a barometer of his skill other than the flashback onto the planet where he couldn't push the rock because it was just too heavy now.
I guess. Yeah, I just figure like they could have shown some kind of, okay, as he absorbs more heat, he is getting stronger. Instead, he's just like oh fuck, he's here and he's unstoppable from the beginning, and like instead of getting more unstoppable, he's just absorbing the fire. I don't know. You know what I'm going with this is like, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree that it could have been more fine-tuned to be like, why is he doing that? What do they do to stop him? Instead, they're just like, we came up with this. Do you remember, Superman, when you put your hand under the water, how it's cold? And he's like, yeah, what's your point? Well, what if we put cold on the guy? And then they're like, okay. And then they do that. The end. there's not like a cool, I don't know.
I know. The thing for me is like they even say on the episode, like again in that flashback that's only like 15 seconds of like, oh well, the sun is supposed to be, you know, his source of power, but he just got a little greedy. And it's like, well, this is ice. Ice, even science ice, melts.
Yes.
You know when it melts? When the sun comes out. You know what powers that dude? Fucking suns.
Or
suns
also
power
just,
the guy. What is your end game?
It's not like invincible ice. Also, like even if they iced him with like a 3-mile radius of ice around every like side of him, couldn't he just go like, oh, I'm mad, and just boosh out of there? Like, how do you know that'll stop him?
Okay, you know what? Here, I'll give you one more better ending than this. Superman takes him to his wank palace and just leaves him on the front step.
he just puts him in a cage.
Just puts him in the ice. He's like, here you go. You don't like cold? Well, now you're just going to be here until the ice caps melt.
I thought you were going to say he just keeps him as a pet like all the rest.
Right.
Just like, I'll just leave you in this room. There's a nice little campfire going at all times. You'll be totally fine. I did like how you were like, he's getting heat from the moon?
Yeah.
I think it was that he was just attracted to it being a bright thing or something, but
there could have been some great comedy, dude. Like, there could have been like a dude lighting a cigarette and he's like, oh, buddy, you're about to be fucked. I'm going to eat that cigarette.
Well, and you had a good point that like, oh, so shouldn't he think that General Hardcastle and all his guys are his buddies because they're like feeding him, they're giving him energy and like helping him. And so that tank guy backing away, I guess maybe just because it was so small, he wasn't even noticing it. But I was saying like, thank you, as he's walking, as the tank's shooting him. Because I was thinking like, but then he steps on the tank, or he steps where the tank would have been. Yeah. So yeah, he's either not paying attention or he's still being like, I'm a big, destructive, evil thing.
Yeah, but like, I mean, even like, you're like, oh, this bear is coming at me. You're probably going to have a better chance getting away from the bear if you toss it an entire salmon.
Yeah.
And in this instance, 400 salmons. Large salmons, big explodey salmons. They're big, and the bear likes to eat them. But nope, he's going to keep walking. I don't know. Dude, this episode sucked.
Well, also just now when you said like, oh, I wish there would have been good moments for comedy, I was almost thinking you were going to say like the clouds move away from the moon, and sees the moon, and then does his like, give me the moon hands standing there, and they just realize that like, oh, he's just going to do that forever, so they just walk away. They just leave. Oh, it's fine, we fixed it. He's infatuated with the moon. He's just going to stay there. Let's talk about the cast of this episode.
Yeah, fucking let's
Tim
hear
Daly
it.
as Superman / Clark Kent. Dana Delaney as Lois Lane, who said one snarky little thing. What did she say? Perry had burritos for lunch.
Yeah, was it an earthquake? No, just our boss farting. Cut to impervious rock monster getting imperviouser.
Yeah, we think anyway. David Kaufman as Jimmy Olsen, Victor Brandt as Professor Hamilton, Charles Napier as General Hardcastle. He played Zed, which was Rip Torn's character in Men in Black, the animated series.
Zed's dead.
Zed's dead. He was Tucker McElroy in the Blues Brothers. Do you know which character I'm talking about?
Tucker McElroy?
He's the leader of the actual good old boys that they pretend to be.
Don't remember.
Oh my God,
Sorry.
we need to watch the Blues Brothers.
It's been a very long time, and I would love to rewatch it.
Yeah, I'll put that on the list. I know him most as Commander Gilmore in Austin Powers, who he's on the phone. He's like, feed my fish, not too much. I'm off to London, England, he says. He was apparently also in Austin Powers 2 as a different general. I don't think he's named on screen, but I always just assumed he's the same guy. I guess he's not.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. Frank Welker as Creature, big rock guy. Previously, Isis, Catwoman's cat. Werewolf FX in Moon of the Wolf. Thug in The Demon's Quest. No, don't take my mask off, guy. And Serpent, winner of the Balderarchy, in The Main Man Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Hale as female vacationer. I was excited to see her name because she will be back many, many, many other times.
Oh, cool.
Female vacationer, I think, was Yacht Lady going like, a shooting star. And then you said, during the day?
It looks like a giant falling rock, baby. Look at that butt crack.
That was the exact moment that I realized, oh, this isn't my On Leather Wings for this show. Because... There were a couple of like goofy-ish looking shots from like a 3/4 turn behind him as he's falling toward the planet in the atmosphere and stuff. I was like, oh, it's a little weird looking, but I can let it slide. Mm-hmm. It was the slowly falling side profile shot as he descends to the water, which is like a shooting star, and then he's just... You
mean as he literally belly flops into the ocean?
Belly flops, yeah. They cut away because it was just too gnarly. We're not going to look at that one. Too hard for TV.
I want to just include that in like one of those like YouTube fail compilations, and it's just like the drawn out shot of him like about to belly flop into the ocean.
And then we had the ship that both of us were confused what was happening, I think, for a little bit, and then you understood Superman was moving the ship to be facing the wave so that it would go like around it instead of through it or something. I don't know. It would
break. Like, you do that with boats and even like kayaks if you're in like a really wavy thing. Caught me off guard with that. But yeah, basically, it's the best way to go through a wave is head on.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the concept. It was just, I didn't know what was happening because Superman goes underwater and like grabs the side of the boat, and you said like, oh, he's going to fuck up the boat. Like he's going to leave a hole in it or something.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize he was rotating it. It was doing that kind of like slow time rampy TMS thing where I wasn't aware that he was actually doing anything. It just looked like we were looking at the boat for a long time, and then the wave came and went, and we were like, nothing happened.
except that it went over the top tidal wave wiped everybody off the boat.
Yeah,
all those children playing on the boat, they're gone.
I was thinking they're just washed away, and Superman just up and away in the distance. My work here is done.
He's like, I got to go grab and then toss this helicopter onto the rocks.
Throw it, Superman. Throw it at General Hardcastle. Fuck that guy up.
I've never wanted to manifest anything more than that moment of it's nighttime and Superman's fighting the army, whatever, is like fighting the big rock dude. And like the rock guy, whatever, like hits the helicopter. I don't remember exactly what happens. And
it falls at General Hardcastle, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, oh no, it's going to fall and crush him. And then, of course, like Superman comes out of nowhere and catches it at the very last second. And then there's this like 3-second pause where he's just holding it. I'm like, oh, just throw it.
Well, he like even does kind of like a lurchy little like lift up motion, and you're like, throw it. And I also thought I was like, is he about to throw the hell? Like, fucking get out of here! Like, is there still a pilot in there? I don't know. But even after General Hardcastle,
he like throws it at the tank, they both explode.
Oh, yeah, that'll take care of that. And the big monster goes, ooh, fire! But so yeah, he has this little moment with General Hardcastle, like, oh, okay, I guess we'll stop firing. You saved my life or whatever, but then in the background you hear this like ka-chunk sound as Superman puts it down like a little too hard on the rock. He did throw it off screen.
Fuck yeah, Superman! I needed that.
So anyway, Jennifer Hale, this female vacationer, she's the voice of the female Captain Shepard or Commander Shepard, my bad, in the Mass Effect games. Are you familiar with when you choose a girl? Nope. She's a girl. She's Spartan Palmer in Halo 4 and 5. She's Miss Keen in Powerpuff Girls, which was their teacher.
Oh.
Avatar Kyoshi in The Legend of Korra.
Oh!
Spider-Woman in the 90s Iron Man animated series, and Black Cat in the 90s Spider-Man animated series.
Cool.
Yeah. Shockingly not in Duckman Private Dick, I have written.
I'm shocked.
I am shocked because she's in fucking everything. Marcelo Tubert as Sonar Man. Who the fuck was that?
Probably the guy looking at the sonar.
on the submarine. Okay. When I wrote out this credits, I thought like, is there going to be a guy with like a big sonar gun or something? I don't remember this, but whatever.
He just got really big
Sonar
ears.
Man. Yeah. I don't trust that alien. Can you go get that superhero that's lesser known from Cleveland, Sonar Man? You can come shoot his sonar guns at the rock bus. I trust him because he's American. He was previously Carlos, Harvey Dent's campaign manager in Two-Face, and a gangster named Scarface, but not that Scarface, in Pav.
Nice.
And we have Townsend Coleman as Captain, previously Chick in It's Never Too Late, and Programmer in Stolen Memories.
Stealing McGorries.
Leftover trivs that I haven't already told you. The music for the episode seems to be an homage to the music from the sci-fi classic Them, 1954. The most notable is the flute whistle at the end of the episode. They! Them is the answer to that. Yeah. I listened to a little bit of it, and I guess I can hear it, but it just, I don't know, sounds like DCAU
Sounds like
music.
a bunch of timpanis to me.
Yeah. The whole time, yeah. Victor Brandt and Charles Napier both guest starred in the 1969 Star Trek episode The Way to Eden, which I looked up. I recognized their faces in it, but I couldn't remember the plot, and this doesn't really help. It says, a group of idealistic hippies led by an irrational leader come aboard the USS Enterprise. I'm sure there's more to it than that. I'm just like, hey, what you doing?
Hey, are we on the Enterprise? That's cool. Okay, bye.
Yeah, we're from 1969. Similar to Mask of the Phantasm, the name of this episode, the Prometheon, supposedly refers to the creature, though it's never actually referred to by that name. We never hear Prometheon in the episode.
But
however,
holy shit, what's a scientist
Professor
name?
Hamilton?
I was going to say Richardson. Yeah. I'm like, it's not Richardson.
Dick Richardson.
Doesn't he say that like once they figure out the whole like binary code or whatever, it's like, oh, the Prometheans?
I don't think so.
Did he not?
I think he just says some alien race or something. Like
shit. I was just projecting. I wanted there to be more substance.
This is from the movie Prometheus. It was a prequel to Alien that'll come out in about 20 years.
This is a prequel to Prometheus and Bob from Kablam.
Bob will show up later, yeah.
Is Bob Superman, the inept alien?
Yeah, I was going to say the Promethean is a combo of the two because he's like a little weird little cave guy, but he's also an alien.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
Thank you. However, in Superman Adventures number 29, the tie-in comic to this cartoon, Lois, Jimmy, and other Daily Planet employees are briefly seen playing a game of charades, imitating various Superman villains, and Lois is upset that Jimmy gave her a tough one with the Promethean. So I guess in universe it's still called that? I don't know.
Wow.
Named Promethean may be a reference to Prometheus, who stole fire from the gods, or maybe Metron gave it to him. I don't know. Keen effects in this episode. The fire shooting inside of him.
That was super keen.
That's really the one that comes to mind, I guess. I liked the very last shot with the like sparkle shine going across the ice to indicate it's ice, I guess.
It's ice, cool. Baby.
It's ice. Ice, ice, baby. Ice the baby. that was, I guess, I don't want to linger on it, but it was another thing that I feel like could have been extrapolated, exaggerated more in the story, is that like this isn't like an intelligent creature. It's like a little like baby rock man that's just walking around. It doesn't even know what it's doing. It's just like, I need the fire,
right?
And they instead are just like, fuck it up, oh my god. They don't like to take any time for Superman to be like, hang on a second, it doesn't even know what it's doing. But I don't know,
right?
I guess it's just one episode to do this cataclysmic thing or something.
Man, they really should turn this into a 3-parter.
Right, yeah, I would have loved that. Superman's powers. Did he show up any new powers, new weaknesses?
Strong swam the submarine.
Yeah, you were like, why is he swimming? You're like very confused.
Yeah, because like he goes through space and in Earth's atmosphere, like through the air flying. Why is he like water makes it so he can't like telekinesis flying himself through it? He turned real pink when he was going through space.
That was a keen effect. It like melted his Buzz Lightyear helmet and then it kind of burst and all the flames went off. That was cool.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Which it was just another like TMS, good at fire.
So, really good at fire. Yeah. I can't think of anything else though.
Books or hip hop? Book. A book that I think we've said this before, but like a book that like your grandma gave you that you didn't really want to read, but you have to, or else she'll be mad.
Yes. Yes, that's the book.
How strong? 1 to 10, and we agreed that we'll do an item like Batman's usefulness.
Yeah,
so
that's
he pushed
right.
the moon thing.
He pushed the asteroid. He pushed the boat.
Submarine.
He
that's what I thought he was going to do.
submarine.
I thought he was going to pick up that whole cruise ship, and I was going to be like, no, you can't do that. Like that's too much. And then gladly he did not. But
yeah, I'm gonna give him. I'm gonna go kind of low on this one. And I think 3 rockets to make your rock monster stronger out of 10.
Okay, I'm going to give him an average 5. He didn't struggle with anything, and he didn't do anything really cool either. I'll give him a 5 portable boom boxes. Where did he get that, and why did he have it?
I don't know, but future TikTok idea. Maybe you just like make him listening to Ice Ice Baby on that.
He's
being like, we got to figure out a way to defeat this monster. Boom, boom,
I have
boom,
an
boom,
idea.
boom, boom, boom.
Yeah. Superman, come back here quick. I just had a great idea. Where's Clayface? He was the rock guy.
He was the rock guy. Specifically
underwater,
walking on the bottom of the ocean. That's where I was like, there he is. He's in
he
one piece
reformed in
even.
the water. Yeah.
He's just out for a walk.
Now we have this to do.
He's bald, I'm bald, we're all bald. But who's the baddest bald of all? It's James and Brian's final call. The Balderarchy.
Our candidates that are antagonists in this episode are the Prometheon and General Hardcastle. And I will tell you, slight spoiler, sometime in the future we see General Hardcastle not wearing a hat. He is bald under there.
Okay. Prometheon is my vote.
I think so. I think it's the obvious choice. But,
yeah, it is.
Oh my God. I wrote Blasts from the Past so fast with Dan on the line. I didn't want to waste his time. It just says Blasts from the Past.
Love it.
I got Prometheon. Okay, that's all the stuff we do. So the top 10. No. Okay, that's all the stuff we do.
Wait.
You want to put this on the bottom?
Yes, I do, baby.
Was it really that bad?
Yes, it was.
Okay. Is it as bad as Prophecy of Doom, I've Got Batman in My Basement, The Last Laugh, The Clock King, Be a Clown, Cat in the Claw Part 2, It's Never Too Late, Mad as a Hatter, Cat Scratch Fever, Day of the Samurai, The Underdwellers, and The Terrible Trio?
Yes.
Okay. I think we decided that Underdwellers and Terrible Trio have to stay at the bottom, so is there any particular place you're going to put just anywhere, I guess?
I mean, this is episode 3. We could put it at 3.
Episode 3?
It's season 2, episode 3.
Oh, okay. It's like, what? You're doing more mental math than I am.
So glad, by the way, that this wasn't our 100th episode.
Oh, yeah. That would suck ass. Yeah. Well, congratulations. We made it to the Promethean. Now we can stop. It would make you want to, I'm sure.
Yeah. I think that totally belongs on that list.
All right, I put it there on the bottom 7 Welv, which is now the bottom 17. I could have put it as the first T. I chose not to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, I understand folks that have an affinity for this episode in terms of it,
people
looks
like
cool.
this?
I don't know. I'm just saying I'm doing a catch-all just in case.
No. If you like this, I give you permission to stop listening to the podcast.
Oh, man. Don't say that, Brian. Everyone has their own opinions.
Yeah,
okay?
I know. This is just the first one I've felt insulted by in a long time.
Yes, I will
Superman's
agree
been so good, and then it's or been so consistent.
Yes, consistently not bad, and then Prometheon is like, "Hello, I'm also an episode."
I think it's
that's what
bad.
He said when he fell through the atmosphere. Look at my little butt crack.
He comes flying into the atmosphere, and he's like, "Hello, can I sell you a vacuum cleaner? I'm gonna walk around your house and clean selective bits of selective pieces of furniture."
This is a reference to a story we didn't record.
Yeah,
we were before we started recording.
We were venting about people door to door selling things and not leaving your house. Dear God, when somebody shows up to your house, just say no and close the door.
Or try harder than I did anyway.
Yeah.
Mail.
Mail.
That yacht.
Mail.
One small extra yacht. Put it
Mail time.
We
Wait,
dropped
no.
what we dropped.
Mail
Our
time.
weekly, oh yeah, those. Into the comments box first. There sure was a lot. Now Jamie's mad. Too bad we're all. I am just Dylan Paula.
That was hard. I did not take a deep enough breath, especially for the lowest note. Why is there a sad child? What's
Hi,
going
baby.
on? Did you not like my mail time? I'm so sorry. Yeah?
Well, this is the most interesting mail we've ever gotten.
I know, this is a weird voice message. Dylan Pollock sent this. If you want to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of the Cat in the Claw Part 2, is please send an email or a 60-second voice message to batwagonpod@gmail.com. You can leave a comment on today's episode on the Podtower YouTube channel. And if you're going to do that, please don't spoil anything past this episode for Brian. I've forgotten to say that a couple of times, but don't
People
do
just
it.
spoiling everything.
Anything's a spoiler if you believe. If you go for 1 second. This is mail and comments from last week's episode, Jump on the Bat-Wagon 98, Blast from the Past, or The Pickle Jar Conundrum, Feat Dan Reba. Brian and I wanted to tell y'all that we're making some mild changes to the mail section. There's been an evolution of the mail section over the course of this podcast where we would get to a point where it was too much, and then we asked for voice messages to be shorter, and now it's too much again in that we get a lot of mail. And I guess the baseline of this is that if you don't hear your mail read on the podcast, it doesn't mean we didn't read it. It means we did if you sent it at all, because I read everything anyway. But it's stuff that for the timing of the episode, the length of the episode, and my editing time being just exponentially larger and larger every month.
Jamie's constantly working as it is. I mean, constantly.
Jamie's busy.
Now Jamie's very busy, and he's got a baby literally currently on his lap.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to make his life easier. So apologies if your message isn't read on the podcast. Know that it has been read and appreciated, though.
Yeah, it's nothing personal. We just have a lot of mail, and we love everybody, but we gotta cut back the episodes to not be like a 4-hour episode,
Yeah, we're just evolving things. We're always evolving people.
Change into a smaller mail section to have less mail to read. Digimon. Well, it still says Digimon. Scotty Steele, if he's still listening to this, I'm pretty sure it was him that would tell me that as a kid he thought they were saying Digimon Garlic Champions. Like they really protect that garlic,
Can you prove that they're not saying that?
I cannot. No, I wasn't there when they sang it. Yeah. This is from James Alvarez. Hey, James and Brian, this episode fucks. I don't know which one they're talking about. Is it Prometheon? I guess so. It's a very simple adventure of the week story. Superman fight big strong thing, but god damn it hits so good. Did they put a hole in the building like you predicted? I didn't even think.
I think not in the buildings and Metropolis, but I think on the home planet they did.
Yeah, they put hole. They made him to make holes,
in buildings.
Harkening back to stories you'd find in a dime a dozen sci-fi pulp magazines that predated superhero comics. The wide shot reveal of the Prometheon in all its Kirby-esque design and glory still gets me excited. In my personal opinion, this episode really feels like the closest we got in this series to a modern Fleischer-style episode. Okay, I suppose so. Easily in my top 5 S-tasses. One I love to throw on in the background when doing other stuff. See, Brian, people do like this. We knew it. I knew it.
Oh.
I just had to
I'm
share.
Sorry. I'm sorry for all my harsh words. I hope you still love this show. Don't listen to me.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've had a DCAU episode to just cream for a second. We're creaming the episode. We ourselves are not creaming. It's the one I'm looking forward to hearing y'all's thoughts on the most. Oh, no. May all your Yoppie Bebs be only mildly expired, James Alvarez. Well, yeah, please keep listening to the podcast. We like the good stuff, too, This is from Brad. Superman canonically has a butthole, and I can prove it with science. Greetings, funny nicknames, blah, 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 who cares? In the comics, Superman's body needs yellow sunlight and nothing else. He doesn't need to eat or sleep. He does enjoy them, though. He doesn't need to breathe either. But that wasn't the case when this show was made, hence the action figure suits. He could hold his breath for over an hour, though. But what about waste? His body processes food at 100% efficiency, but the sunlight he stores up is drained when he uses his powers. Heat vision does this the most, so with that being his only energy-expending excretion, that means his hot look is pretty, which included the trademark symbol, is pretty much him pissing out of his eyes really hard. That's how I stopped peeing, he said. That draining of his energy is also the reason why he sometimes seems stronger at times than others. His battery can run low because he's used too much juice. But that brings us to
cool theory.
The chocolate starfish. How do we know he 100% has one? Well, everything I said above only applies when he's been dining on yellow sunlight. On Krypton, everyone lived under a red sun with no powers and are identical to humans. So they did the nom-noms, the wee-wee, and big fat smelly shits. He also had a child with Lois in the comics and other media, so we also know for certain he has a functioning college dick. So yeah, all the Rule 34 art is anatomically correct, although I always figured Bruce would be the top because changing subjects now. Great, thank you so much. I believe it. Metropolis Mayor Franklin Berkowitz. Dear people of Metropolis, as I speak, the U.S. Army is currently resolving the asteroid issue thanks to my government's great coordination. What? There was a big blocky guy there who wants to suck all the heat, and now he's wrecking some forest right next to the city? The locals are losing their minds? Well, good thing I don't need their votes, am I right? What? He's in the industrial district? Good thing Superman has freeze breath. He doesn't? Fuck, I gotta call someone. Hey, Hamilton Hill, my fellow mayor of exactly 10 million people. Don't you guys have a wacky freeze gun guy? What? He sunk with Walt Disney's rich asshole Bioshock state, and I wasn't invited to be a part of that? Well, fuck you. And I thought this city was weird. Anyway, how's the monster thing? Professor Hamilton solved it? Okay, how? What? He shut off all the power? The voters are going to be pissed. I mean, first he asks if he can test his crazy sci-fi guns on animals to save humanity or whatever. Now this. Star Labs is one fuck up away from losing those subsidies, I tell you. Anyway, let's go live again. What do you mean we've been live this entire time? Are people watching? We air the same time as what? What the hell is a Jack Ryder? Is that a whiskey brand? That's it. Jesus Christ. We didn't mention that 10 million people thing that they also said that in orbit or whatever. That's 10 million people. Oh, again?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we just kind of missed that. At least it's a good round number.
Yeah, it's easy to remember. What? Yeah. That's
Aaron's
what
in the mail segment.
Dylan Pollock. This episode rocks, man. Get it? Because there's a rock man? It's a highfalutin joke, so I wanted to make sure you understand.
Damn, Dylan, you're so funny.
It is time for the Thoughts of the Week from Dylan Pollock on the Prometheon, or Major Stoner. If Superman can alter the trajectory, why couldn't he just push away the creature entirely? Also, when he's re-entering the atmosphere, that's a pretty sweet outfit reveal for Superman, giving major RuPaul's Drag Race energy for some reason, like Yas Queen, way to reveal that sweet cape. Also, I had the thought that this would have been such a cool crossover opportunity to have Mr. Freeze assist Superman in defeating the creature. And basically, this is the same as the creature in the MCU from the Eternals. I feel like somebody every few episodes should be leaving comments like, and still no one talks about this, because he's just going to be in that lake frozen forever now, isn't he? Yeah. And it's time for the question of the week. James' favorite part.
That's my favorite part.
What's the best kind of pie? I like pumpkin pie every so often.
Strawberry rhubarb. Next question.
Key lime pie. Next question.
You probably haven't seen the Eternals, but yeah, it's like a big like Kirby. I think Jack Kirby invented those characters too. So it's big Galactus looking guys that just are inside the planet, and then one is like coming out of the planet, like being birthed out of the planet, out of Earth.
Nice.
And they stop it partway through, so there's just a like part of a head and a hand sticking out of the ocean. It's very similar to this, where it's like, and we won't have to worry about that ever again. Goodbye.
I feel so bad for that I can't remember the listener of the first comment who was like, I love this. It's my favorite episode. I put it on all the time.
James Alvarez. We're so sorry, James Alvarez.
That's right.
We should have a James Alvarez apology segment every time now.
Yeah.
LexCorp cares. Hey there, hope you're yopping well. Just a little comment for you. By the way, the whole yop thing's such a creative bit. Sent from my beautiful lead-lined Lex phone.
Hey, Jake and Branson. I was just reaching out because I wasn't sure. Did y'all happen to catch where that Prometheon landed? I saw the hand going down, but I just, I'm asking for a friend. I was just wanting to see if y'all saw where in the harbor it had gone. Also, just quick thanks. Thank you for mentioning the great work that the LexCorp lead factories do, If you're ever led to talk about it some more, you're welcome to. Anyways, I got to get back to all this office work I'm doing. Hope you have a great one.
I just really those seagull sound effects in the background. I was like, what is this? Standing inside the lead factory? Yeah.
Just some seagull work at the lead factory. It's fine.
Scotty Cameron, the Alien prequel. Wait. Hey, Yoppie dudes. Great show as always. Are you ready to see the Alien prequel? That's not right. Oh, this is the episode of the evil Batman who has the fighting styles of the best fighters in the DC universe. Wrong again. Oh, this is the Promethean, not Prometheus.
Whatever.
Also, it was great having Dan Reba on to discuss Blast from the Past, give us some behind-the-scenes details. I love Ron Perlman as Jaxter. He'd make a great Zod if given the chance. Yes. Done. Are you done? Okay. Stay happy, Scotty. Thank you. You too.
Thanks, Scotty.
Jordan Newman, recorded from the car on vacation in one take immediately after seeing a tweet about the moved up deadline. Prometheon.
Attaboy, Jordan.
You're listening to the Gotham Insider, reporting live from Metropolis. Tonight's top story, a giant alien monster was seen crashing around the outskirts of Metropolis, and I think the scariest part about it is that I don't care. I'm totally good with this stuff by now. Anyway, apparently Superman had to trick the monster into going in the water, and they did some science thing to handle the threat. I don't know. The military was involved on this one. They're even less likely to talk to me than the police. Now over to the music. I really liked the silence as all of the stuff powered down in the city. I thought that was cool. And there was lots of cool, mysterious music going on during certain parts with Superman leading the monster away. I thought that was cool. Never apologize for loving your fandom and try to stay optimistic.
The music may have been the best part of the episode.
I did actually, I think my favorite part of the episode was just what Jordan was talking about, where they power down the whole city and they basically stop all audio for a minute and it just gets really quiet. And I felt like myself kind of and then it had a little bit of music kind of trickling in, and that was creatively really good.
Yeah, and then when Superman flies in with his little matchstick. This is Fiacra Horgan. Hey, James and Brian.
Hey.
My name first. Hope you guys are doing great. Last week's episode was a ton of fun. It's always a joy to hear Dan discuss the DCAU with you guys. This episode was freaking awesome. And reference to the Promethean. I love the darker, ominous atmosphere. The music and the direction were also top-notch. Those were good things. The imagery this episode was so damn cinematic. Superman's containment suit burning off of him as he's re-entering orbit was rad as hell. Man, Clayface is sure looking a lot bigger and less red than when we saw him in the Main Man Part 2. I was half expecting the creature to bump into Metallo when he was walking on the seafloor. I think I have a new number 1 on my S-Test Top 10, which is crazy because I remember being bored by this episode and falling asleep when I was a kid. That shows what kids know. That explains it. We are just children.
Oh, absolutely.
My only hang up with the episode is that the ending felt a bit abrupt. I can't wait for next week's pod. It's going to be a big one. Stay yappy. It will be. It'll be bigger than this. Keen Machine. Greetings, James and Brian. So the Clay Space episode, huh? Not great. Leaves us a lot of questions. Why is this grumpy military guy in charge of Space Force and the Army? Insert, is that allowed, Vine? What kind of credentials does Professor Hamilton have that he can turn off the power of the whole city? Ah, yes, everyone loves some sweet summer moon rays, right? And finally, are they just going to keep the lake frozen forever now? Seems like that's not a really permanent solution. Maybe we just shoot it back into space and make it someone else's problem. Classic case of passing the giant space monster. Yeah, overall, a very forgettable episode, but that shot of the city skyline at night before it goes dark is keen. We don't see the city at night a lot. Nice to know Metropolis has such a booming lava industry, just like Gotham. Keep it keen. Very good points. Very yes.
Yeah.
Lenola Cola. Tag on the Super K for the Prometheon, a.k.a. expected Michael Bay's Armageddon got Roland Emmerich's Moonfall instead. The Fantastic Four / Superman crossover I wasn't expecting. Or, hey, that's Jennifer Hale. For the episode, I really enjoyed it. Definitely among my favorite episodes alongside Feeding Time and Little Piece of Home. My only real gripe is his general harassment, Hardcastle. Feels like a retread of Turpin's initial dismissal of Soups. That and the oddly somber note the episode ended on. That's all for now. I'll get back to y'all faster than the Flash till we up again. Oh boy, why is everyone like this? Tip Tapper
I don't know. This is going to be another one of those On Her Majesty's.
Oh no, On Her Majesty's Prometheon.
On Her Majesty's Secret Service.
You didn't remember the name of it? You had to look?
I felt like I was messing it up. But it's also just right here, so I wanted to look.
Yeah, Tip Tapper Cut. Sorry if I sound breathless in this. I was. I think you both know the incline I'm walking here to get to the closest stop, though I was trying to keep my breath steady. Anyway, cut thoughts.
Early morning thoughts as I yap up to the bus stop. Here are my contemplations on the Prometheon. As I'm heading to work at the time of recording, 6:45 a.m. As someone who is experiencing what it's like when the sun is out versus not, I totally relate to this big asteroid guy. It can get so chilly without the sun, and it's not pleasant. It doesn't make me want to move around. He should have gotten gloves or something. More realistically, I actually really like this episode. I think that it explores cosmic threats and horror in a more grounded way. Like, we see this military operation, and then we go back to the ground and we remember that all these people are down there just living their normal lives, and it's like, yeah, what would they do to defend from this if they didn't have Superman? I think that everybody thinks that it could have had a better wrap-up, which was it's just left in the thing, but it was good.
I agree with some of those points you made. It makes me feel so my lungs hurt listening to you.
To be fair, having walked up that hill quite a few times myself, that is like San Francisco steep.
It's from Ryan Hipp.
It can't be a spoiler if the network was already calling the damn thing the new Batman Superman adventures at this point. It's the way human beings experienced it in the far gone days of the gold rush. Whoa, Nelly! No!
And now, the new Batman Superman adventures.
It's everybody's favorite, the Prometheon, a word that shares several letters with the word premonition, the title of my second or third favorite Survivor album. I think this episode's really cool. I like the whole slow burn sci-fi thing, and I like the sound design when Superman's doing the stuff on the comment, because as the old saying goes, in space, no one can hear you queef.
Maybe Perry had chili for lunch again.
Going back to earlier, one of my earliest memories in life, period, is going to Burger King with my Nana and getting the Superman the Animated Series kids meal. Turns out that was the kids meal for September 1997. So the same month that this show finally got its own kids meal, it's the same month Kids WB took it away from Superman and made him share it with Batman for the rest of its run. Rude!
Oh my God.
Thank you, Ryan.
I love how much my ADD keeps up with all of that.
I
But then the message ends and I'm just like, wait, what happened? Was that a fever dream?
Yes, thank
Brilliant
you
as always.
Evil Banana Baby says, Ooh Goo Haga. Translation not okay. Alrighty. And the Banana Baby said, Goo Goo Gaga, this place, it grows cold. I couldn't find my father. His disappearance for the past week has me concerned. The appearance of my uncle and cousin has thrown the place into imbalance. Yet another home slowly consumed by their darkness. I'm afraid we won't be able to save our new home. This may not be okay.
Oh, no.
Also, I'm a Missouri listener. Put that on your wall. Love the pod.
Wait, Banana Baby's from Missouri?
Yeah, Banana Baby is Missourian. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay, it has been done.
Good. I really needed it to happen.
Wait, but where's
Ashley
Banana
Tutchin.
Man from?
We don't know.
Oh my God. Ashley Tutchin, though. He's Australian.
Okay, Brian, James, Dan, the four of us are going to make ourselves a Firefly rewatch podcast because I simply cannot allow you to all go one more second without experiencing it. Well,
well, it's already been a second. What are you going to do about that?
Sorry about that. It's too late. Evil Banana Man says never okay. And Banana Boy says okay. Now, I'll note that Banana Boy and Evil Banana Man were back to back within seconds, and also Banana Baby and Evil Banana Baby were back to back within seconds. So I'm going to assume that at least those two are the same person, you see. Still don't know who the Yop Tower is. Mark Aquino, last verse. The Prometheon, or Space Clayface needs power-ups, or I'm the government, I'm the reason nothing works. The last one was for any Mystery Science Theater fans in our Yoppie community. I'm a Mystery Science... I don't recognize the quote, though.
I don't either, but I do love some MST3K.
You fuck with MST3K. So in this episode, a team of scientists and archaeologists follow a star map discovered among the remnants of several ancient Earth cultures. It leads them to a distant world known as LV-223, which was home to an advanced civilization. The crew's mission was to seek out the origins of humanity, but instead they discover a threat that... Wait, I'm sorry, that's the plot to Prometheus. Here I go again. Although in my defense, there are parts of the first few minutes of the episode that do feel similar to Prometheus in an ironic way. But instead of finding the early origins of the xenomorphs, it's a big old rock man. We get to see more of Soup du Jour in his Buzz Lightyear costume, which is neat. Shame it got burned up in the atmosphere because the Spirit Halloween store he bought it from is now closed for the season. I hate to see it. I bought a Buzz Lightyear costume for this little boy at a Spirit Halloween a couple months ago.
Well, watch out, because now it's burned up in the
I know, it's
atmosphere.
burned in the atmosphere, yeah. The standout aspects of this episode for me were the animation and the music. Both were terrific. That's true.
Yeah.
I also dug the design of Space Clayface, or Clay Space, if you will. Keen bit you to it. Continuing the Kirby-esque aesthetic, overall this was just okay, but I'm definitely excited for the next episode as the DCAU is about to expand even more. Boss Biggest Bear Hugs is the #1 podcast host in this here multiverse of ours, Jury Duty and Build a Brian Workshop, where Yoppie dudes are made.
I love that.
Praise to our Lord and Savior, Dylan Pollock. Keep up the great work on your own podcast. Remember, tell Gab she rules, though. Gab. Likewise, to all the people, you're the absolute best, all this stuff. Happy Thanksgiving to all who participate in it. Hope yours is filled with good food and family, even with found family as well. I'm definitely thankful for being part of this little community of ours. It's always been fun, and I can't wait to see it grow even more as the years go on. Of course, next week's the big 100. I had teased before that I was planning to do something special for it, but due to my art history professor assigning my class a 5 to 8 page research paper this weekend, I won't be able to do this weekend. I won't be able to work on this top secret project until after Sunday, so I'll just put it on hold for the last podcast of the year. Not saying what this special project is, but I'm really excited about it, and I know you'll all love it too. Anywho, till next week, big ol' whoosh. I just flew away. He just flew away.
That's
I'm
quite
excited
a teaser.
to learn. Yeah. You're setting it up to be something really cool.
I mean, if you got like a month
it's
to work
Dark
on
Side.
it better be good. Yeah.
Finally, we got Dark Side here. So I should do you. I don't know how we didn't think of this yet. The Jurassic Park Newman clip where he's just like, hey, Dark Side, we got Dark Side here. See, no one cares. It's just Brian.
Yes, please.
That's the episode. We're done now, I think.
Great.
Next week's episode, Brian's the 100th episode, as we've said.
I am so excited for this.
Me too. Jordan Blumen will be joining us.
I'm
for the
excited
first time,
to
somehow.
Somehow,
as in, like, why have we not had him there yet?
I thought it was somehow as in I don't know how we're going to get another person
somehow,
on this podcast.
Jordan Blumen returned. Yeah.
Jordan that you know from the from the amazing additions to our
that
mail
amazing
segment.
podcast that he has that's called a name of a podcast that we will say at this time right now. It is the Fandom Optimists.
Fandom Optimists.
It finally came to me, yeah.
Wow.
Never apologize for getting Jordan's podcast name wrong.
I had the logo and like I can see
I know, I can see the yellow.
I'm bad.
Yellow on black. Yeah, you got it.
Yep.
Anyway, the episode is called Speed Demons.
Oh, hell yeah.
What is it?
Speed Racer. He's a demon.
Yes, there is a race. And there is speed.
I'm speed, you're speed, we're all speed.
We're all spode.
I know.
Spood of speed.
It's been a long couple days.
It really
I'm still trying to
has.
recover from that road trip to Northern California.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you've had a long, week.
Oh,
You've had a
buddy,
long
have
life.
Long
Your
life.
life has been just going on for too long. We're hitting Brian's 100th birthday on the 100th episode.
Are we going to have champagne or sake or something? What are we doing?
I don't know. Yeah, we could get individual wine. I don't know.
Does Jordan drink individual wine?
We'll find out.
Okay.
Next time on Dragon Ball JOTB. Thanks for listening, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye, listener. Thank you for listening.
See you next week for Superman Races Speed Racer.
For Superman Races Speed Racer next week on this podcast.
100th episode.
The 100th
Right
episode.
here.
This
Jump on the
podcast right
Bat-Wagon.
here. Jump on the Bat-Wagon.
I can see the logo and everything. Just couldn't say
It's
it.
Superman yanking off a couple...
Yanks. Yank on the yank wagon.
I need to go to bed.
Yeah, let's leave.
Okay,
Goodbye.
bye.
I hope you're recording your entire wheeze there.
I was yanking, I don't know, pulling the wagon, yanking on it because he's leaning back, and I'm going to stop recording now.
Jump on the Bat-Wagon is hosted by the Watchtower Database. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for DC Animated Universe videos on a regular basis. This podcast is edited and produced by yours truly, James Strecker. Musical themes by Kimmy, Cooney Phoenix, Viltsu, Eric LeBeau, Jordan Blumen, my mother, and of course, my smooth co-host, Brian, Brother Broderick Meneely. To buy us a Yoppie beverage and hear your name read in a future episode, or to nab yourself a Yoppie Dude t-shirt, please visit the links in today's show notes. Thank you for supporting the show. You can hear more on today's DCAU episode by checking out our friends over on the DCAU Review and Tim Talk podcasts. Please leave us a 5-star review on your app of choice. You'll damn well hear it read on the show. If you'd like to reach out to us like the fire hand at the end of The Cat and the Claw Part 2, you can email batwagonpod@gmail.com or leave a comment on the Podtower. New episodes of Jump on the Bat-Wagon are released Fridays on all your favorite podcast feeds and watchtowerdatabase.com. And we'll see you next episode, same PP time, same poo-poo channel.